church. I went back to the same psychiatrist and essentially told him, you know, like, unfortunately your doctor's note didn't solve the problem. They're still accusing me of being psychotic and so on. I'd appreciate it if you could give me one more thorough examination and write a letter, you know, a more thorough letter, you know, more, you know, rather than just a note that's, you know, a sentence or too long. If you could write a proper letter, you know, that hopefully will convince them to withdraw the accusation and so on. He examined me again, as I said, quite a few months later, if not more than a year later, quite thoroughly, and he wrote out a much more detailed letter again saying he couldn't find any psychosis, couldn't find any other mental illness, but he did note that I was distressed by the aspersions, I believe that's his exact words, cast on me by Reverend Ray Drennan. So he did recognize that this was distressing to me, that I'd been accused of being psychotic by Reverend Ray Drennan and other leading members of the church. You'd think that a letter like that might persuade both Reverend Ray Drennan and or the board of the Unitarian Church of Montreal to withdraw the accusation, but no, you know, and instead they kicked me out of the church for complaining about Reverend Ray Drennan's anti-religious intolerance and bigotry. Good day, sir. And here we are. So anyway, getting back to what I said to John Inder earlier, because we sort of got a little off track. It is a fact that the sun and the moon, viewed from the surface of the earth, have almost identical apparent sizes. There is some fluctuation in their apparent sizes due to the fact that the earth has an elliptical orbit around the sun and that the moon has an elliptical orbit around the earth. So sometimes the moon's apparent size is smaller than that of the sun, and other times the moon's apparent size is somewhat larger than that of the sun. But essentially it's very close to a one-to-one relationship, and they do pass through a one-to-one relationship regularly. And this very, very precise mathematical equation allows the moon to totally eclipse the sun. If the moon never reached a one-to-one relationship in terms of apparent size with the sun, there would never be a total solar eclipse. They would always be partial or annular eclipses. The moon would always appear smaller than the sun. At most, you'd have a ring of the outer part of the sun around the moon. But no, the moon, in its current orbit and everything, is in such a position and such a size that it does in fact totally block the sun on occasion for some minutes, and when it does so, what you see is a black or otherwise quite dark circle in the sky, which is of course the disk of the moon in front of the sun. And because it totally obscures the sun, you see the corona, you see the sun's atmosphere. And it's essentially like rays coming out all around the moon. And that phenomena looks very much like the pupil and iris of an eye staring down from the sky. Now, I'm not saying that that is the eye of God, as John Inder might like to say. I'm saying this is a sign of God. It's symbolism. It's a symbol of God's divine omniscience. And that is about one of the sanest religious claims made. I mean, if you're going to have a revelation, well, it doesn't get much more, scientific, as it were, than that. And I think on that note, this half-hour segment's going to wrap up.